Hammers up, everyone. Towelliee here. 8.2 PTR is live with new changes to the game, especially what we're going to be talking about today, the Heart of Azeroth new system. It's a new neck level system. It's opened up. It's now out there. It's no longer just a crit, haste, mastery, and higher item level. And it doesn't even affect your Azerite armor anymore. Your Azerite armor now is just unlocked in 8.2. So you get a new piece of armor or you get an upgraded piece of armor. You don't have to re-level your neck. Everything's just available. You click and you choose your traits and that's it. They did say there will be new raid and dungeon specific traits for the new Operation Mechagon and the Ashara raid, but that's about it. I don't think any of these are changing again. I think they're going to tune them. They're going to have to after what I tell you today. But the Heart of Azeroth, boys and girls, has opened up. Yep. Good old shift right click, if you remember your artifact weapon in Legion. Good old shift right click. Does this look familiar, boys and girls? It does. It's like the glyph system or the old Path of the Titans or whatever you want to call it. Nowadays, everyone just compares when they see a window like this to like everything. I mean, for me, it looks more like the glyphs, personally. But this is not final. Once again, everything you see here is the PTR, the player test realm, all subject to change, of course. So I'm going to go over the prop palette. Well, fuck this. Let me just tell you how it works. So you unlock major and minor essences. So you get an essence. It starts off like as a green item, right? This is the cool part about this system. I'm going to be all over the place, so just try to keep up. Let's look at Null Dynamo. So Null Dynamo begins as just like a rank 1. This is like the rank 1 Null Dynamo. And you can see that it has a 3-minute cooldown on whatever it does, the magical damage reduction. And then as you progress in 8.2, it'll tell you where to get the next rank. So none of this is RNG. To get these minor and major essences, you just have to do tasks in the game. So you'll see over here, as I go to the blue, Null Dynamo is there. The cooldown has been reduced. Looks like the absorbs are the same, but once again, all subject to change. And then you got the epic version. Now, there is a legendary version, I believe, of every single one of these. But that is a visual effect. It has nothing to do with enhancing the stats, which is a little bit of a disappointment. So if we still look at this Nullification Dynamo, for example, in order to get the empowered null barrier, gains an enhanced appearance. So the appearance is the legendary aspect of it. It says Rust Ball requisition crates earned through Paragon reputation. So Paragon crates. I guess that would be RNG. But you know you get it through those specific crates for that specific rep. This one right here requires Battleground and Brawl wins in Season 3 and 4. This one is reach Heart of Azeroth level 70, then complete the quest Heart of Azeroth Essential Power in the Chamber of the Heart. Let's see this one up here. This one is reach Gladiator in the week, then claim your next weekly PvP war chest in Season 3 or later. A lot of these require some crazy ass shit to get the legendary version, which is once again only an enhanced appearance. So these other ones you'll be able to get by just, you know, doing the normal content in the game. Now, you get your first minor essence at 55 and your next at 65. You could start at a major and a minor. So this middle one right here holds a major and a minor essence. These side ones can only hold a minor essence. So let's say I were to put Null Dynamo in here. You see how there's a major minor? Well, if I put this in the minor, it's only going to give me the lower part, the passive. It won't give me the on use from the top of the Nullification Dynamo. Now, if I were to, I don't know, put the Ceaseless engine here, Null Dynamo here, now you have both of them. Now you have a 2.3 minute cooldown, major power, and then you have a minor power. So you have all those. So basically, the way we're looking at it right now, it's 1 major, 3 minors. That's what you're going to get. So it's mixing and matching. It's kind of like you're making your own build in the game. And that's what's really cool about it. You can go really heavy defensive. And you'll see as I read off some of these paladin abilities. And Blizzard has stated that these are supposed to be overpowered. I don't believe them. Neither should you. Because anytime they say, oh yeah, we want you to feel powerful and we want you to feel strong, that's not going to be the case. But once again, these are neck levels to unlock. So level 55 neck level here. 65 here for the second minor slot. We're at 55 right now. I believe the way it works is once 8.2 hits, you do this really easy quest with Mother, and then it just unlocks the neck, and then you just get this one automatically. I don't think you need the cap of 50. I can't not confirm that. Maybe someone in the comments can. But let's go over some of these. Once again, these are Protection Paladin, role specific major and minor essences. Now you'll see that other tanks basically have the same one, except that some of them have different wording for different abilities. DPS have their own set. I believe healers have their own set. So there is a bit of a variety, and Blizzard did state there are more class-specific ones that you can unlock later. Down here are the Holy and the Retribution ones. I'm going to go just through the tank ones because they're pretty cool. So let's start with Ages of the Deep. 1.5 minute cooldown. The elements protect you, reducing the damage you take from each attack by 2,000. I'm going to round it off, by the way. I love rounding off. I don't really state the real numbers. For 10 seconds while active, heal for 2,700 health when damaged. Kind of weak, in my opinion, unless it scales or something. The minor of it is you gain 113 versatility for each additional for each enemy within 10 yards, up to 565. Additionally, you heal for 1,200 every 4 seconds for each stack of Ages of the Deep on you. Now, while you're below 35% health, the verse amount is doubled. So we're looking at about, like, I don't know, like 1,200, 1,100, 1,200 verse. It's not a big deal. I don't really like this one unless there's something I'm missing about it that's really overpowered. I don't like it. So Anima of Life and Death. So once again, on the PTR, Blizzard has given us the rank 3s of all these for testing. So this won't just be available to you. You're going to have to grind all of this. But once again, they're not RNG. They're there's a direction where to go in the game to acquire these, which is a big ask of the community lately, and they have answered. Draw upon your own vitality to sear your foes, sacrificing 10% of your maximum health to deal fire damage to all nearby enemies equal to that amount. Heal for 10% of your maximum health per enemy hit, up to a maximum of 50% of maximum health. Minor, Azerite energy courses through your veins, increasing maximum health by 3,400 every 4 seconds, stacking up to 15 times. That minor is actually pretty good. And then you lose the effect if you're below 35% health. So, I mean, we're talking like, 40,000+ extra health, which is nice throughout the whole entire fight. I like it. It's like having a blockades trinket with you at all times. Azeroth's Undying Gift. This is probably going to be one that we would use as prop paladins for hard-hitting bosses that we might need multiple cooldowns for in succession, or, predictable damage that we know that we need the DR for. So this one says, reduce all damage you take by 40% for 2 seconds, then 20% for the next 2 seconds. That's awesome. And that's on a 45-second cooldown, kids. 45-second cooldown. When you fall below 35% health, gain 15,000 armor for 4 seconds, then 7,500 armor for the next 4 seconds after that. This effect may occur once every 120 seconds. So both very powerful. I would say on hard-hitting fights, maybe magical damage, heavy encounters as well. This one is like, this is my favorite, the way it reads, but it's very overpowered, and let me tell you why. This one's on a 2-minute cooldown, right? So this is called Engine of Ceaseless Progress. Create a field of Azerite energy at your current location for 10 seconds. While you're standing in this area, you gain a stack of Engine of Haste, Mastery, and Critical Strike every 0.5 seconds for 10 seconds. While inside of the Engine of Ceaseless Progress area, take 10% reduced damage. So that by itself is amazing, because you're already taking damage reduction from standing in your own Consecrate as a prop paladin. Now you're doing 10 more for standing in this shit. And then you're going to see why later on all this just kind of comes together. When you activate the Engine of Ceaseless Progress, the stack count of Haste, Mastery, and Crit Strike is immediately increased by 100%. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Every 2 seconds, the Heart of Azeroth empowers you with 31 Haste, Mastery, Crit. After reaching 10 stacks of either Haste, Mastery, or Crit, the Heart of Azeroth temporarily overcharges, doubling the effects of the Engine of Ceaseless Progress for 8 seconds, after which the stacks are removed. So this right here, this minor, is 100% uptime. You're constantly getting stacks of everything. Mastery, Crit, Haste. During most of a Mythic Plus dungeon I did, my Haste was just always above 33, 34%. Along with my whatever haste I started with, which is like 24, 25. I was always at a good high amount of haste, which is, 35, 34 for a prop paladin right now, man. That's fucking good. Now we have Memory of Lucid Dreams. This one is worded weird, which leads me to believe either they just didn't tell us which ability. You'll see why. 3-minute cooldown. Clear your mind and attune yourself with the Heart of Azeroth, increasing your mana generation rate by 100% and your leech by 874 for 10 seconds. Shield of the Righteous recharge time is reduced by 50%. I mean, that sounds awesome, but I only use my mana for fucking Flash of Light, so I'm guessing this might be like a holy essence confused with a prot one, and maybe, I don't know. Then the bottom one is your spells and abilities have a chance to refund 50% of the mana spent on them and immediately heal you for 10.8k. When Lucid Dreams refunds some mana to you, gain 543 verse for 8 seconds. So it definitely seems like there's something missing here. I don't know what it is. Now, this next one's pretty cool, the Nullification Dynamo. It is a 2.3 minute cooldown. Now, gain an empowered null barrier, absorbing 173,000 magic damage for 10 seconds. This is huge for like bear tanks, for any tank that can't really mitigate that much magic damage. Then you have the Minor Power passive. Now, this will remind you of the Prydaz neck piece, and there's Oni with squeaky toy in the middle of a video. Squeak, 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 squeak. You'll hear that throughout the whole entire video. Now it's over. It's her way of saying, get the fuck off of that computer and play. See, there she goes. So gain a nullification barrier, absorbing 34,500 magic damage for 10 seconds. So yeah, I mean, you have this, and pretty much, let me put it right here. There you go. I think that's good. And I think they changed it recently, but it's basically like the Prydaz of magic damage. Now, I thought there was supposed to be some sort of explosion that comes along with this. Maybe they changed that recently. Let me see something. Let me pop it. Yeah, I'm absorbing the magical damage. Yeah, I could have sworn yesterday there was another aspect to this that said, you know, and then after a few seconds, you know, the nullification barrier explodes and hits people in the whatever, man. You know what? Maybe they changed it. Sphere of Suppression. But like I said, magical damage, heavy fights, that wouldn't be too bad to, like, you know, mix in with the Azeroth's Undying Gift. So Sphere of Suppression. Unleash a heavy pulse of suppressive energy, reducing the movement speed of all enemies within 15 yards by 70% and reducing their damage done to you by 10% for 8 seconds. If this hits an enemy, your movement speed is increased by 50% for 8 seconds. Pretty good in PvP, I'd say. And pretty good also while kiting mobs in Mythic Plus. I mean, 10% less damage done to you for 8 seconds on a 45-second cooldown. Pretty good. Enemies, now this is the part that I kind of like as a prop paladin, and I might use this in case I really need haste. Enemies who melee you will attack 8% slower, and you gain 434 haste and 15% increased attack speed for 7 seconds. That's a really good minor, because you also got to watch out which minors you want to stack or which minors you want to build upon. We're getting to the good ones here. Here's Crucible of Flame. This thing is just fucking broken. They're going to nerf it. I mean, I was doing like probably 20% of my damage in Mythic Plus with this dungeon. It does some wicked fire spreading to all the ads, and then as long as your Consecrate ticks on all the ads, it refreshes the debuff. I'm not sure if that's even supposed to happen. Blast your target with a ball of Concentrated Flame, dealing 22,000 fire damage to an enemy, or healing an ally for 22,000 and granting you Ancient Flame for 5 seconds. Each cast of Concentrated Flames deals double the damage or healing of the last. This bonus resets after every third cast, maximum 2 charges. And then the minor is your spells and abilities have a chance to grant you Ancient Flame for 10 seconds, increasing your crit strike by 150 and your leech by 64, and causing your damage and healing spells to engulf their target in Cleansing Flame for an additional 10% of the damage or healing done over 4 seconds. That's a lot to digest. Reread what I just all spoke there, and you'll see why it's overpowered. Touch of the Everlasting. Your next death is prevented. You instead regenerate to 10% of your maximum health and take 85% reduced damage for up to 10 seconds or until you are healed above 70% health once every 7.5 minutes. That's rough, but man, that's OP. 85% damage reduction. That's big. The sands of, and then the minor is the sands of the Infinity swirl around you, increasing your verse by 0. This verse is reduced by 50% for 7.5 minutes if you die. So, I mean, we know 0 is not the number. Now I'm going to skip Vision of Perfection because that is like the omega of all of these traits. World Vayne Boon. 2-minute cooldown. Concentrate energy into the Heart of Azeroth, immediately causing 3 Azerite shards to erupt from the nearby ground. While within 8 yards of the Azerite shard, you heal for a certain amount of health every 2 seconds. Now, the minor is actually, I think, really better than the major. Every 1 to 25 seconds, a shard of Azerite erupts from the nearby ground for 18 seconds, granting you a certain amount of strength while you are within 8 yards of it, which is kind of good. It reminds you of that Bonded Souls, one zombie trait that nobody likes, but at least tells you how far you have to be away from it. Now, this next trait is the talk of the PTR for every tank, every DPS. It's like, and you'll see why. So, let's get to the Vision of Perfection. Your spells and abilities have a chance to activate Avenging Wrath for 50% of its base cooldown. When the Vision of Perfection activates, the cooldown of Avenging Wrath is reduced by 10 seconds. Minor reduces the cooldown of Avenging Wrath by 16.5% and increases your verse by 85. While you activate Avenging Wrath, immediately heal for 5% of maximum health. Now, obviously, we're going to go with that and Engine, which I think is already there. Now, basically, imagine proccing wings, folks, over and over and over. And you can proc wings and then proc it again, and the seconds stack. That shit can kind of happen. I was actually tanking a rare earlier today, and I literally had wings up for, I think, like 75% of me killing like a 2 million HP rare. And people on my stream were like, this is fucking broken. But you see, it works for a different ability for each spec and like role. So for a bear tank, it procs Survival Instincts for about 3 seconds. It does it for Avatar for Prot Warriors. You know, Shadow Fiend for Shadow Priest. Primal, what is it? Primal something Aspect of the Wild, I think it is, for Hunters. It's outrageous. So where's that training dummy? I'm going to hit a training dummy around here. Where's the tank one? There's the tank one. All right, let's see how we can get the proc. And then you'll see here, this is my button. It'll tell you how long it's going to last. Now, I'm not popping wings right now. And sometimes for me, man, like when I'm hitting a dummy, it feels like it takes longer. But you do see those little globes in my, on my buffs there. Those are the Ceaseless engine. You can see it's ramping up the mastery, the crit, the haste over here, slowly but surely. Oh, great. Now when I make a YouTube video, like, Wings doesn't want to proc. And, yeah, there was a Rep Paladin who I think he was able to get, like, 65% uptime on it. But maybe because the more haste you have, the better it is. That could be why it's maybe not working as well for me. It's like one of those procs where it'll just keep going for, like, a minute and then stop for, like, 5 minutes. Maybe Blizzard disabled it because it is broken. I put it in there, didn't I? I put it in there. Maybe not today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow it'll work. Let's try like the 3 dummy one. Maybe that'll work better because it's hitting three mobs. Holy shit, what the fuck? There it goes. It finally procced. Thank you, Lord. So as you can see, it procced for 10 seconds, so 50% of the normal duration. And then it'll go like on its own like little cooldown. So I can't. And then there it goes. It did it again. So it procced again. And now it's going to wait till the cooldown's over. I procced my own now. Now I'm not sure if I can go stack on top of my original wings. But you can see right there, I mean, I'm basically about to have 40 seconds of wings up. Because, you know, it does specifically say in the neck, your spells and abilities have a chance to activate Avenging Wrath. So, I mean, I think it didn't really matter that I was hitting all these dummies. I think it's just random. I also would say, you know, hitting an enemy or whatever. But again, it could be like any other proc. The more enemies you hit, the more it happens. Did somebody sub to me while I was in the middle of a video? I thought I just heard the sound. But while it's on cooldown like this, it can still proc, by the way. So it doesn't have to be like, oh, there you go, procced again, another 10 seconds. But yeah, so, and then let me get to why this is a little overpowered. Sorry that took so long. I mean, I don't know. Usually this kind of shit happens to me while I'm making a video. Now imagine combining your neck and now your traits. And I have a little trait called Avenging Wrath. And Avenging Wrath, while active, your mastery is increased by 717. So you triple that up. And now let's read my own mastery. Reduces all damage taken while inside your consecrate for 9.1%. Right now 6.3%. That's like what I have based on my current mastery. Increases your chance to block melee attacks by 19.2. Now, let's go ahead and hit these dummies again and pop wings. And let's see what that tooltip says. Let's see if we can get a proc. Now I'm like determined just to get the proc and not even hit the on use of it. Like, fuck it. It'll happen. I believe. I believe in the heart of the cards. Heart of the cards. Stubborn ass fucking game. Sure, for Ret Paladins, proc every 5 fucking seconds for prod, just, you know, suck my balls mode. Anyway, let's push it. Pop the wings. Now, while standing consecrate, 17% damage reduction. And 50%. It keeps going up too. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible. Just like how much you're getting for it. 2151 mastery. And you can have that like multiple times throughout the encounter. Because if you keep proccing the wings, like I think I just did again. Yep, like I just did right now without even noticing. You're gonna keep getting like that insane amount of like damage reduction. It's pretty crazy, man. So I mean going from 6 to 17, I mean we're talking about 11% damage reduction while in consecrate. That's huge for any encounter. That's like having almost bark skin the entire time. But that's what I wanted to show you guys. And once again, that ability is enhanced for every class and spec and a specific ability. There should be a list on wowhead.com. But that's how the new neck system works, and that's kind of like what we're looking at. I know we kind of like went totally left field here and just went off on some paladin adventure to show you this wings thing, but you know, this Vision of Perfection, which is going to be nerfed, obviously. Blizzard already made a post saying they're going to make some tuning to it, is very powerful. And you combine that with a couple of really good miners, and you start making these cool builds for either, you know, tanks, DPS, or healers, and the game just kind of opens up a little bit, becomes a little bit more fun. What I'll do next video is show you guys Mechagon, the new gnome area, which is pretty large and pretty fun. It's about the size of the Timeless Isle, a little bigger according to Blizzard. It's all this right here, and it's part of the Rustbolt Rebellion, is it? Let me see. Rustbolt Resistance reputation, which you will need to eventually get flying in 8.2. But thank you for watching. Any comments? Let me know what you guys think about the neck system. Let me know if you like the way Blizzard has separated the neck from the Azerite armor. Do you like the fact now that you have to go out and find the ranks of these essences by doing sometimes either, you know, casual, medium, or hardcore aspects of the game? You know, legendaries require, the legendary, which is visual only, requires you to sometimes kill Mythic Ashara. So, you know, like, how do you like that system? Because, I mean, we've complained so much about RNG. Now, Blizzard has given us this end game system where it's predictable and we know where to go to find what we need. instead of relying on RNG to give us these items. Let me know what you guys think. I'm pretty excited for 8.2. More coverage coming to you from Towelliee Gaming on YouTube. See y'all later.